Got a 25 Civic Type R here today. We are doing springs. In fact, let me show you. Actually, George is still off this week, so I guess I should say I'm doing springs. Spoon springs, PRL Wing riser, spoon bushings, spacers, and a lip. I'll show you this along the way, show you what it looks like. I did a quick picture. I'll put it here right now for the height, a before and after. Just make sure it doesn't have wheel locks. Nope. Let's take these off. I think we'll do the springs in the front first. They are the ones that take the most time, so I typically do those first. So you don't really need a spring compressor for the spoon springs. Plus, I don't like to use the clamps on the springs and scratch them up. They're all pretty and painted nicely, so I don't want to scratch them. So we do that the old-fashioned way. And then the rigid collars, you got to make sure you use the supplied grease. It's like an anti-seize. Don't be shy with that stuff. Put it all the way around it so it doesn't gore it as you put it in, and tighten it up and mark the positions. The plastic cover, make sure you save all the clips. Every single clip will go back. There is a million, hold it on. The wheel spacers, there's a million wheel spacers out there, and it's very controversial. Everybody has their own opinion on the wheel spacers. If they're good quality and they've got the good quality hardware, I've never seen any issues with them. In fact, I have them on the back of my C8Z. Make sure all the surfaces are clean before you install them. Then install the spacer and torque it to its recommended value. And then, of course, wheel install. Make sure there is a pocket on the wheel for that stub that sticks out. It's something I checked first. The PRL wing riser, these are nice pieces. Now, it does lift the wing quite a bit to a point that it's no longer in your view. When you look in the car, you can't see the wing behind you anymore. So there's a few benefits there. So after doing springs, shocks, bushings, collars, any of that, you should always just take it for a short drive, take it over a few bumps. Obviously, nothing crazy, but just to make sure everything is settled. May get an outside shot for you if you're interested in doing this modification. Always like to share this. Some people get ideas from seeing something, and then they're inspired to either do the same or do something slightly different. So you saw what we did. We did the PRL wing risers. I think they call it something different. In the Porsche world, they're called wing risers. We've done a bunch of these. Lowered on spoon springs, 20mm spacers, which looks so much better. These wheels tend to sink in so far. And then, of course, the front lip. So many lips available for these. I always recommend getting yourself an inexpensive lip, because you're almost certainly going to scrape it. And then you don't feel bad. If you scrape it, you can just replace it. But there you go. Let's get a side shot. There's your before and after. So don't be alarmed if you put springs on your FL5 and after a little while it settles more in the front or the back. We've installed almost every spring on these cars and they all settle a little bit different, which so many people get alarmed and think there's something wrong with the spring. Springs always settle at different rates. But this is pretty even. Pretty good setup. There's your wing right there. Those fit perfect, by the way. PRL make a good product. Always enjoy installing their parts. There you go. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. Two things going on behind the scenes. I've been assembling cup holders. These are just ready to be wrapped up. We mentioned this in several videos. Now we're assembling them so they're ready to go, because a few people had problems getting those screws in there. And one guy used his Milwaukee drill or something and stripped out the screw, and we had to fix it for him. So now we're trying to make it easier. So there's two sets of holes. You can change the position. I'm putting it in the furthest towards you position. Depending on your car, if it's AP1 or AP2, you can use those other set of holes right here. Those two, basically slide that over and it pushes that cup away from you. This is the version 2, so it has a little bit more clearance. We have a few of the pressure wash systems left. I want to make a dedicated video, not just to sell you it, but to show you how to install it. Show you the benefits of the pressure wash system. I think we've only got like 6 left. New S-tubes are back in stock. This was from request. We made the black anodized ones the last time around, and a handful of people said, hey, you know what, I like it, but I like the raw aluminum better because it stands out and it looks more flashy. And these are CNC billet one piece. Look at these things. These not only fit better, flow better, they look super pretty, and they've got the laser etching by our good friend Jeff right there. Look how beautiful they are. These just came back in, just pressed in the brass vacuum feeds. Typically only use one of those if you're using it for your purge system. If not, I typically blank one off and use just the one for your bypass valve. But there they are. I think there is 10. Quick guess. These will be in the store by the time you see this. And like I say, I think we've got 6 of these pressure washer kits left, and then we're going to take a break from them because they take a long time to assemble. We want to make it where it's a bolt-on, plug-in, fire-up kind of system as opposed to assembling bits and pieces, because you'd be surprised how many people run into issues, and if you don't include every single fitting, this isn't stuff that you can get at your Home Depot, and then people get upset because they bought something and they can't use it. So I totally get it. So the LHT brake kit used to consist of the StopTech slotted rotor as well. If you don't know, StopTech went out of business, and we've been using those guys for a long time. So we're now switching back to the DBA, the 4000 series. This is what we used to use back in the day, and we're switching back to these. And I don't know why I got away from them, honestly. I think it's just that we met up with the StopTech guys, and we liked them and started buying their product. I forgot how much I like these. Let me just show you one of these. This set is for Matt at Obsessed Garage. We're building his car in about the next month. This was the first set that I ordered for him. And honestly, look how beautiful they look. Look at the pattern right here. So this is something else. They're painted with a high temp epoxy for the centers and the edge, because this usually rusts. The problem I had with a StopTech, and it's even on my car too, they used to paint them right up to that line right there. And then there'd be a small area that the pad didn't contact, and then you'd have that rust ring. These guys paint them heavy to here, then do a blend out to here. So the pad will just remove the last portion of it. That way you've got the surface that your pad contacts, which isn't going to rust, and then you've got a perfect line. I like that. But the design on these, really cool. And then they have the paint lines too here for temperature. If you are tracking these things, there is a whole guide about checking the temperature, and you know if you're overheating your rotors or not. So keep an eye out for those. Probably the next video you're going to see with these is on Matt's car. He's doing our brake package, and this is just a really pretty rotor. And of course it's an upgraded rotor, which is the main reason we're doing it. But you know what? Why not have a good looking brake rotor while you're in there? And it's very functional. We're using OEM calipers, still the most reliable caliper on the market in my opinion. Unless you're going full track, you really don't need the monoblock calipers. Spoon is a good option because it uses OEM pads, and the pads don't rattle around like some of the other kits. I'm not going to mention it, but anyway, keep an eye out these. This is going to be the standard brake kit on the LHT brake package. This is the LHT throttle body for the Jackson supercharger. We basically revamp all of this and make the necessary provisions and improvements to it. This is the LHT bracket. We've been selling this for 15 years. Let me show you the original GSR bracket that we started with, where this came from. That's the GSR bracket. This bracket is discontinued. Actually, that's not it. That's a K-series. This is the GSR bracket. So this would bolt to the throttle body and pull the cable from this direction. Gives it much more clearance, better fitment. This has been discontinued a long time ago. So we made it out of billet aluminum. Well, our supplier got to a point where these things were just ridiculously expensive, and we've got to make it where we can sell this to you and obviously make it affordable. So we have a new manufacturer for our brackets, which we're waiting for. They should be here any day now. They're going to be black anodized, and it fits right here. Part of our package is it's going to come like this with the bolts and the cable ready to install. It fits our S-tube, and it fits the standard S-tube. But it gives you so much more room by pulling the cable this way as opposed to this way. This is the hardware that goes with our cup holder. It has the rubber isolator, and then it has two slightly upgraded screws from the factory one, so it makes our cup holder fit a little tighter. There is a packet in each one of our cup holders. This is the kind of stuff that we do behind the scenes that we don't show you to try and keep things smooth on the front side. There's a lot of little knickknacks going on the back side of things. If you've seen our channel in the past, you'll notice that we occasionally film the animals that hang out. This is the little guy, we call him Limpy. This might not be the original Limpy, but I called him Limpy because I think he got hit by a car or attacked by something, and he used to hobble around, and we felt bad and kept leaving food out for him. Well, now he brings his family by, which is actually quite funny. So I don't know if this is the female or not. And then one of our favorites right here, this is Opie, an opossum. If you don't know about these guys, one of the best critters to have around. They will actually attack and eat rattlesnakes, and they don't carry rabies. Cool little guy. And then we have a new addition right here. First time we've seen one of these guys. No, not the bug crawling across the screen, but this guy right here. It looks like a tree frog. He came by for a second and took off. Very cool to see what's going on outside. So many times on the channel I've mentioned this, to keep your kids involved in what you're doing. You've seen on the channel, I've kind of showed Sebastian grow on the channel. Ever since he was a baby, I had him playing around with cars with me. I have a picture of him somewhere where he's helping to change tires on a Corvette. He thought he was helping and he was involved and he was having a good time. All he did was like roll around the floor and touch the wheel and tire and get himself blathered. That was 15 years ago. He just turned 16 and he has his driving permit now. And it's the most bizarre thing in the world to sit behind your son while he's driving the family to dinner. And meanwhile, I'm over here like a soppy dad going, he was a baby 5 minutes ago, and now he's driving a car. Those times fly by. Real quick shout out to my friend Justin and his family that came by to say hi yesterday. Justin, so nice to hang out with you, and I appreciate all the kind words that you say on our channel, and you're always involved. Talking of cars, make sure you wash them regularly because these guys are out, and they are quite happy to destroy the paint on your car if you leave them. Shout out if you know what these guys are. If you live in Florida, you know exactly what these guys are. So Sebastian is driving the CRX a little bit more. I'll show him more on the channel, but he's getting better every day. So I got 25 of these to wrap and put in the store. This is one of the most awkward things to wrap because of its shape. So I always like to bubble wrap everything and give it as much protection as possible. That way when it comes to you, it's like it left the shop in perfect shape. But these odd shape, usually do this, roll the end over. Some tape here. Something like that. Again, they're going to travel in a padded envelope most likely, or in a medium box. But we want it covered on all angles. We don't want this part getting scratched. So a little flap there. So talking about getting kids involved with you, I know it sounds soppy. If you guys are new dads, you're old dads, whatever, it's never too late to get your kids involved. It's not just involved in the family business or your hobby. It's spending quality time with them because you can't get that time back. You might have heard me talk about on the channel, I lost my dad, and it's one of those things that it makes you think. It makes you think of all the times that you rushed. I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that. Well, you definitely can't get that time back once it's gone. All the money in the world won't bring that time back that you could have spent with your dad. You may have seen the 30th anniversary box set that we did. This was just an idea I put together, and it was a way to give our faithful followers, the ones that we joke around and call super fans, the ones that when we meet we're just immediately best friends, and it happens so often. We meet people and it's like we've known each other forever. Sounds crazy, it happens so much. Anyway, we did 10 limited sets, one of them being red. The black box had 15% off anything in the store, and the red one had 30%. They sold in less than an hour. Sold way quicker than I wanted or expected. I wanted them to sell fast, but I wanted, obviously the people that wanted them to get them. I'm thinking about doing one more set for the regular Civic filter and cap range. Basically the same oil change kit, but for the non-S2000 for the Honda. Let me know what you think. Should we do another one of those, or should we do another 10 for the S2000? I don't want to make it just where it's everybody gets it, because then it's no longer special. I don't want to make hundreds of the things, but let me know what your comments are. I do listen to the comments, I really do. We're making more phone holders, so this time we're making it so you can buy either the MagSafe or the track version, which is the one I call the track version. I have both in my car. Building brackets, putting it together right here. This is the bracket with the stabilizer and the foam, they're going to be put in with the MagSafe chargers. We're putting a whole bunch together so that when I put them in the store, they are in stock. One of the things that we do is that we refinish the ball right here. We put a bit of a texture on it that makes it more grippy. I've seen so many times the weight of the phone will actually just, you go over bumps and it will kind of slip. By putting a little bit of texture on that, I found it grips much better. And again, I use my car to kind of test this stuff when we're building it. After hours, trying to work on your own car is always tough. Last video we showed was the AP2 V3 wheels, which I really love, by the way. I do love the MS10s, but for some reason this wheel really suits the car, the color, everything. Still braking in the clutch, haven't had a whole lot of time to drive it. Right now we're building a 3-inch exhaust into dual 2s right there. Show a little bit more of that in the future. We are going to be running a Jesse EPA high flow cat. I'll show you that in a second. I like to keep things clean. I like to keep the sound down. I like to keep the smell down. I'm not trying to make all the power in the world. I think 350 to 400 is perfect for these cars. I do have the NA package. I'm going to keep that put aside from my car. All those parts I'll keep, but I think 400 is where this car needs it. I did obviously want to develop a package for the people that want, you know, 220, 230, 240. There is the cat I'm using. It is the EPA cat. This is the expensive one right there, but it does a good job at keeping things clean and keeping the smell down, because that just gets annoying. I don't have the patience for funny smells anymore when I'm driving my nice car to the garage. And then everybody comes out and goes, why does the car smell? Because we're making all these power. Well, I don't like that anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Don't forget, enjoy your cars.